Hi, Dr. Kelsey here. Congratulations on ordering your personalized wishing machine. The basic wishing machine that you've gotten from me is very similar to those that you would get anywhere outside of the fact that I have enhanced it with certain components to personalize it to you. They're not visible. They're inside the machine. And of course, the addition of the Tesla coil, which I'm going to explain all this as we go along. So when you receive your package, you'll open it up, and you're going to first see on top of the package, you should see the instructions. And this is detailed instructions on the use of the wishing machine and detailed information about the Tesla coil itself, the purpose of it, and some caution that should be applied in using the coil along with the wishing machine. On your particular machine, the Tesla coil is not physically attached to it, but I'm going to show you in a few moments how we're going to work all this. Along with the booklet on the instruction manual, and I'm going to cover up this person's name and birthday, you'll receive a personalized booklet overview of your life path number and also your birthstone. A lot of fantastic information there, and the purpose of that is the more that you know about yourself, the better your intentions will come, the more effective your life will be. So you'll then find the wishing machine itself. You will find the coil. You'll find the power cord supply for the coil. There is no power supply plugged into the wishing machine itself. You'll find two cords with alligator clips on one end of those cords with 3.5 millimeter jacks. Now, I'm going to go over the basic usage of this, what all these components do, how to hook it up, how to use it in a very brief presentation here. Please read your manual for detailed information. The input plate, and this will be labeled, it'll be on the upper left-hand corner of your machine. The stick plate will be on the upper right-hand corner of your machine. You would find whatever your intention is, something to manifest that intention, something that would represent your intention. For demonstration purposes, let's just say that you are in need of money. Everybody needs money. You could get a bill, a coin, something to represent money. I would suggest a paper bill. Or you could actually, on a piece of paper, write out a number, amount of money. If you are saying, ooh, I need to figure out a way to get $500, you could write $500 on a piece of paper to represent or manifest your intention. If you are the recipient of the intention, you're not doing this for your mother or your sister or your husband or your wife, you're doing this for yourself, then you would want something to represent you. That would go along with, for instance, the money, whatever you are putting there to represent your intention. Both would go on this side, on the input side of this machine. Once you have placed it there, with one hand, you're going to turn this first knob as you're swiping your finger across the stick plate. At some point, your finger is going to kind of grab. You'll feel some friction. It's going to kind of stick. That's where you would stop. Whatever number that happened on is where you would stop. That one's adjusted to where it needs to be, the right frequency. Then you would go to the next, and you would do the same thing. And once the finger feels that first bit of friction, you would stop. You would go through all 5 knobs. Start with this one, go to this one, go to this one, go to this one, and then to this one. When you have all 5 knobs set accordingly, then you would move whatever represented you to the side of the stick plate, the output side. And then you're going to readjust these knobs. So all these go up, this one to 100. So if this stopped at 50, then 50 minus 100 is 50, that one would stay at 50. If it went to 60, you would say 100 minus 60 leaves 40, you would move it to 40. The same with all of these. If this was set and friction came in, the stick started with your finger and it stopped at 20, then it would be 100 minus 20 would be 80, so you'd move this to 80. Being mindful that this is after you set them from the input side and you've moved whatever represented yourself to this side. You go all through 5 of these. If this stopped at a 70, 100 minus 70 would be 30, then you would leave this at 30. Okay? You would do this with all 5 of these knobs. Now, before I go into the tester coil part, let's talk about these 2 wires. You will see on the bottom part of this coil 2 jacks, an input and an output. These jacks are a 3.5 millimeter jack, the same as your cell phone, headphone jack, and that sort. So let's say that you have something to represent your intention, but it is too big to put here. Then what you would want to do, if the object itself is not metal, you would find a metal disc, a metal something to put whatever represents your intention on, whether it could be a pot, a kettle. You would plug this into the input side and you would physically attach this to the metal container that you put your intention in. Okay? So that would become your input. Instead of putting your intention here, you're putting it to something that would hold it better. Okay? On the other side of the output, you could still put your picture or whatever here, but if you wanted to get more personal, if you will, you could plug this in and you could say, alright, I'm going to be sitting here meditating for a while. I want to make sure that my intention is really coming toward me. So while I'm sitting here, I'm going to attach this to myself. Now clearly you're not going to walk around all day with this, but for that period of time, to enhance, to make sure you're getting that, you can attach it to yourself. There's actually been some people that would have a ball cap on and would attach it to the bill of their ball cap. However you feel comfortable doing that. Okay? So that is what the input output jacks do there. Now let's step it up. We're going now to the Tesla coil. You'll note that on your model, the Tesla coil itself is in its separate little box. It's not physically attached to the wishing machine. You have your power cord. The power cord inserts into the back of the machine, like that. Now, as you've taken this out of the box, there is a single strand of copper wire that's coming out. Don't pull on it, don't tug on it, but make sure you have pulled it away and stretched it away so it's not touching the coil. You see that this one is free of any of this. It's up and out. That's the way you want that one strand. So be very careful with that. In the packing, it may have gotten pushed down inside the coil or pressed alongside the coil. Make sure you pull that one strand out very lightly, very small. It's like a thread, except it's copper wire, very thin, and you're going to leave that just like that, away from the coil, not in the inside, but totally up and out from the coil. And then we're going to plug in. Oops. We're going to plug in the coil. This is the only component of this machine that gets plugged in. Now, somewhere on your machine, you'll find attached on this box, you'll find attached a little light bulb. And on the machine itself, on the side of the input plate, you'll also see two light bulbs, or maybe at least one, put there. Okay? You will see that immediately, once I've turned it on, even though these bulbs are in no way connected to the coil itself, you'll see that they light up. So the purpose of these bulbs is to show that the coil is working as it should, that you have the coil. The purpose of the two bulbs here, or at least one, according to how I've done yours, is to show that it is working and it's close enough to your machine and the input plate. So where you have put this, you can see this lights up, like I said, and it may be faint because I have the sun in the background where I'm sitting. So these will be at least one bulb attached to, like, the corner here will be just simply taped on there like so, and you'll see it light up. So like I said, those are simply to indicate that this is working and it's placed appropriately next to your wishing machine. And you'll see, I'm going to move that out of the way, you don't want to touch this while it's on. You do not want to touch the coil, and if you'll see with the light, I'm not sure, but you'll see this is a spark on the end of that wire. That is where it's sending this out, the energy out into the atmosphere, out into the universe. Don't touch any of these components. Again, this is the input plate, that's the stick plate, the output. You want to place your Tesla coil, as you can see right here. I'll make sure you can see that, at this corner by the input plate. Now, here's the way you're going to use this. You're not going to leave this on constantly. That's not the way we want to do this. You don't want to walk away and just leave this constantly running. You want to use this at a time when you're, say, going to sit back and you're going to meditate about your intention, about what it is that you wish for, whatever your desire is. So when you are near this machine and you are ready to say, I'm going to take a few minutes out of my day and I want to work alongside my machine, then you'll come and then you'll turn the coil on, and then you'll sit back and meditate and think about your intention. Very positive thoughts as you're doing this. Now, you can walk away and you can leave this on, the Tesla coil, for short periods of time. Don't leave it on all day. Don't leave this on and confined into closed spaces. Like I am here, you want it out in the open. This is an electronic open device here. This coil gets very hot. There is a spark at the end of this where it's sending this energy out. So don't use this like in a closet. Don't put it in a drawer or anything like that when you're using the coil along with the machine. Now, when you're gone for the day, and you know, up until I enhanced this machine to give some amplification to sending your intention out to the universe, people were using just this by itself. So during the day, when you're at work, when you're not sitting with it and you're not meditating with it, you're still getting the benefit of this after you set it up just the way that I spoke of earlier. This is for those particular times of day that you want to really focus on and you want to boost it out. It's like, I don't think I'm getting the results fast enough. I compare it to nowadays, someone has some trauma, an operation coming up, something happening that's critical, they're going to apply for a new job, and they'll get on social media and they'll say, pray for me. Well, this is a very personal way of saying, help me in a positive way get the results I'm looking for. So that, my friends, is the basics of the wishing machine and what you're getting in your package. Read the instructions. That is what is very, very important. Enjoy this. My contact information is at the bottom of the instruction manual. Feel free to reach out to me. I talk to people on the phone all the time who have purchased the wishing machine, and I want the best of your intentions and hope that all your wishes come true. Keep it positive, my friends, and thank you again. Best wishes.